Hello YouTube, I'm Stephen and welcome to episode 14 of my playlist where I take a B2 essay and up-level it to a C1 level and beyond. Let's begin. I am going to start by reading the B2 essay, and the title of this is the Airbnb effect. So this essay is all about the website Airbnb, where you can make reservations for holiday apartments and houses. Since it began in 2008, Airbnb has become famous across the world. People love it because they can book an apartment or house instead of a hotel. This has many advantages, but people are realizing there are disadvantages too. Let's examine these. Firstly, many owners who rent their apartment or house can make more money by putting it on Airbnb and not renting it to regular people. This means that the number of homes available to rent is smaller, and this is causing a housing crisis in many places. Secondly, in some places, Airbnb is causing house prices to rise a lot. This means that local people who have lived all their life in a town or city can no longer pay the high prices. Some say Airbnb is killing communities. Thirdly, people who go on holiday and stay in Airbnb homes can often have parties and make a lot of noise. This is bad news for neighbours in the apartment building who live there all year round. This is causing a lot of anger. In conclusion, although Airbnb was an amazing new idea and many people made a lot of money thanks to this business, it has clearly caused some serious problems. Happily, people are realizing this and governments are making new rules to help. This essay has some fantastic points. The grammar is great, there are some idioms, the punctuation is mostly correct. However, we can definitely improve upon it. So let's start the editing process. Here is our first paragraph. The title, The Airbnb Effect, is actually a really good title. We could leave that for a C1 essay, but I'm going to use an alternative. I'm going to say The Dark Side of Airbnb. Since it began in 2008, Airbnb has become famous across the world. Only one mistake. We need a comma after the subordinate clause. I have added that in there. I'm going to write this sentence as since its launch. So when a company begins, we use the verb launch. It's the same with a rocket as well. A rocket will launch. Since its launch in 2008, and we'll have a comma, Airbnb, and then instead of saying has become famous across the world, which is fine, I'm going to use an idiom, an advanced idiom. Airbnb has become a household name. To become a household name means that everybody knows who or what you are. And then it starts here, people love it because they can book an apartment or house instead of a hotel. I am going to write this slightly differently. I'm going to start with an adverbial. Offering a spectacular range of accommodation. So accommodation means houses and apartments. So that's a fronted adverbial. Offering a spectacular range of accommodation. Travellers adore the platform. So the platform is Airbnb. And we use the word platform in this context to mean a business which is online where you can buy and sell products. And then we have, this has many advantages, but people are realizing there are disadvantages too. Let's examine these. I'm going to say, however, comma, despite its numerous advantages, and then it says here people are realizing that there are disadvantages. I'm going to say many, and many here means many people. Many, and then I'm going to use this phrasal verb, are waking up to. To wake up to something is a metaphor. It can have a literal meaning when you wake up in the morning, but to wake up to something means to realize something bad is happening. Many people are waking up to the dark side of the company. So let's have a look at what we've got. Since its launch in 2008, Airbnb has become a household name, offering a spectacular range of, I'm going to add in here, short-term accommodation. That adjective, short-term, is really important because Airbnb, you are not renting a house or an apartment long-term to live as your home. You're having it short-term for a holiday. A range of short-term accommodation. Travelers adore the platform. However, despite its numerous advantages, many are waking up to the dark side of the company. So that's a great introduction, and remember, we will edit the final version at the end of the video. Next paragraph. Firstly, many owners who rent their apartment or house can make more money by putting it on Airbnb and not renting it to regular people. That's a great sentence. However, I can make it more advanced. I'm going to keep firstly, and then I'm going to say many landlords. So a landlord is someone who owns a property and rents it to somebody. Many landlords, and then instead of saying can make more money, can earn greater revenue by, now we have here putting it on Airbnb. Absolutely grammatically correct and fine. However, that is more informal. A more formal expression would be by listing their property. So I've used here property instead of apartment or house. By listing their property on Airbnb. And then here it says, and not renting it to regular people. Well, I'm going to say rather than. Rather than is a more formal way of instead of. Rather than renting it to, and then we have here regular people. Well, I'm going to say long term, the opposite of short term, tenants. A tenant is a person who rents a property from a landlord. And then here we have, this means that the number of homes available to rent is smaller, and this is causing a housing crisis in many places. So again, grammatically correct, let's make it more advanced. Due to this, the number of available homes, and I'm going to say on the rental market, has fallen. So the number of available homes on the rental market has fallen. And then this fantastic verb here, exacerbating. To exacerbate something means to make something worse. Exacerbating the housing crisis in many towns and cities. Because as we know, there is a housing crisis in many places. There are not enough homes. And we will be doing a video about the housing crisis coming soon. Secondly, in some places, Airbnb is causing house prices to rise a lot. Grammatically correct. I'm going to keep secondly. In some places, comma, secondly, in some places, Airbnb, and then I'm going to use this verb, has triggered. And then instead of house prices to rise a lot, I'm going to say has triggered a dramatic rise in house prices. So a dramatic rise means a really, really big rise in house prices. This means that local people who have lived all of their lives in a town or city can no longer pay the high prices. Let's say as a consequence, locals. This means the people that live there. Instead of local people, we can say locals. Locals find themselves, and then let's use this expression, priced out of. If you are priced out of a place, it means that you cannot afford the prices there. Locals find themselves priced out of the towns and cities they have lived in for generations. So instead of lived all of their life, we can say they have lived in for generations. And then we have, some say Airbnb is killing communities. A great expression. This has led to the accusation that Airbnb, and then I'm not going to say killing communities, I'm going to say destroying communities. Remember, I will be editing this at the end of the video. Thirdly, people who go on holiday and stay in Airbnb homes can often have parties and make a lot of noise. Let's keep thirdly. And I'm going to say in many instances. In many instances means a lot of the time. And let's say those, that means people, those staying in Airbnb. Now it says Airbnb homes. I'm going to say Airbnb properties. Instead of have parties, I'm going to say throw parties. You can say to have a party, but a more advanced is to throw a party. Those staying in Airbnb properties throw parties or return late at night and make a lot of noise. Let's then have an adverbial resulting in noise, and I'm going to use the expression antisocial behavior. So antisocial behavior is anything which is not good for the neighborhood. So leaving rubbish everywhere, shouting, making a lot of noise, antisocial behavior. And then it says this is bad news for neighbours in the apartment building who live there all year round. I really like that expression, all year round. Great. This is causing a lot of anger. So let's start with the adverb unsurprisingly. Permanent residents. So these are the people who live there all year round. Are becoming angry and frustrated. And let's have a subordinate clause. As their neighbours are replaced with inconsiderate tourists. Inconsiderate is a great adjective and it means somebody who does not think about other people. In conclusion, although Airbnb was an amazing new idea and many people made a lot of money thanks to this business, it has clearly caused some serious problems. There is a missing comma because we have a subordinate clause. So the subordinate clause is this. So it has a comma after in conclusion, the fronted adverbial, and then a comma at the end of the subordinate clause. Happily, people are realising this and governments are making new rules to help. So grammatically correct, actually quite a good summary. Can we up-level it? I'm going to keep in conclusion. And I'm going to say, although Airbnb was now I'm going to use a fantastic adjective, groundbreaking. A company or a film or some new idea, if we describe it as groundbreaking, it means it's never been done before. You could also say revolutionary. So although Airbnb was a groundbreaking company, we need a comma for our subordinate clause. I'm going to use an adverbial here, allowing homeowners to earn extra money. It has undoubtedly given rise to some serious issues. To give rise to something is a lovely expression to use in an advanced piece of writing. Happily. Well, I'm going to say fortunately. Many governments have recognised the damage being caused and are taking steps to help. To take steps to do something means working towards a solution, to take steps to help. I am now going to do a final edit of this advanced essay. This essay is available in a PDF along with my other advanced essays, and there is a link in the description of this video. So let's do our final edit. The dark side of Airbnb. Since its launch in 2008, Airbnb has become a household name. Offering a spectacular range of short-term accommodation, travellers adore the platform. However, despite its numerous advantages, many are waking up to the dark side of the company. I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to change the first sentence to since launching in 2008. That is more succinct and more direct. Airbnb has become a household name. Now, I'm going to take here this bit about travellers adore, and I'm going to delete that and I'm going to add it onto the end, adored by travellers. So look at our first sentence. Since launching in 2008, Airbnb has become a household name adored by travellers. And then this bit here about the platform, I'm going to move to the start of that sentence to make it the subject. The platform offers a spectacular range of short-term accommodation. Now, the whole story of Airbnb is that people use it instead of hotels. As an alternative to hotels, the platform offers a spectacular range of short-term accommodation. I'm going to read this now. Since launching in 2008, Airbnb has become a household name adored by travellers. As an alternative to hotels, the platform offers a spectacular range of short-term accommodation. However, despite its numerous advantages, many are waking up to the dark side of the company. I believe that this tells the story and introduces the essay in a more complete manner. And one final change, I am going to delete the comma here, which comes before adored by travellers, as we do not need a comma when an adverbial goes at the end of a sentence. Firstly, many landlords can earn greater revenue by listing their property on Airbnb rather than renting it to long-term tenants. I don't think we need the pronoun it to talk about their property rather than renting to long-term tenants. Due to this, the number of available homes on the rental market has fallen, exacerbating the housing crisis in many towns and cities. Secondly, in some places, Airbnb has triggered a dramatic rise in house prices. As a consequence, locals find themselves priced out of the towns and cities they have lived in for generations. I've just used towns and cities in the previous paragraph, so I'm going to delete that and I'm going to say locals find themselves priced out of the neighbourhoods, and then instead of they have lived in, we can say they have called home. To call somewhere home means to live. It is an advanced expression. Out of the neighbourhoods they have called home for generations. This has led to the accusation that Airbnb is destroying communities. We could actually say displacing. Displacing means sending people to another place. Thirdly, in many instances, those staying in Airbnb properties throw parties or return late at night, resulting in noise and antisocial behaviour. Unsurprisingly, permanent residents are becoming angry and frustrated as their neighbours are replaced with inconsiderate tourists. I'm going to change this slightly. Instead of saying are becoming angry and frustrated, I'm going to say unsurprisingly, anger and frustration is growing amongst permanent residents. In conclusion, although Airbnb was a groundbreaking company, allowing homeowners to earn extra money, it has undoubtedly given rise to some serious issues. Fortunately, many governments have recognised the damage being caused and are taking steps to combat the problem. I am really pleased with the final version. I will edit it a little bit more before I put it into the PDF, which you can download. I really hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a like and leave me a comment. You can also check out my Patreon page if you'd like to find out how to support the channel, and of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.